Hi, this is Steve Santello from the 556 course. I wanted to share an update on Discord, and this is in relation to classroom discussion platforms. And Discord, some of you may have used it. I would assume many of you guys may have not used it, partially because Discord is actually not really meant for education. That wasn't the initial thought on it. And it is more or less a chat-based program that is meant more for the gamer. And the reason why I'm covering it in this class is because I've actually been using it for my classes as a discussion-based program, which I'll talk about in just a moment as well. But I wanted to introduce what Discord is in just a little bit more detail before I discuss how I use it in my classes, and then also some of the really dangers in using platforms like this as well. There's a cited resource that I wanted to quickly discuss based around that too. So Discord is something that is fairly new. It came out in 2015, but didn't have a released preview version until 2018. So a lot of folks are still adjusting to it. And when I mentioned that it's more marketed towards gamers, it's because people, just like other social media services, can create a username, and then they can basically invite friends to talk to, and essentially private message or group chat. And the thing that makes Discord a little more special than say some other sort of instant messaging service is that you can tie your username account to a gaming platform. So, for example, Steam is a gaming platform that a lot of folks use who are Windows PC gamers, because you can essentially buy games on Steam and have a relatively large library of Steam games. And so, if you tie that to your Discord account, if you link those two accounts together, then if you're online with Discord and say you're playing a Steam game, then it will show up on Discord, which game you're playing. In which case, then if a friend sees you playing a game, they may end up jumping into the same game. They may end up chatting with you about the game, and so on, which isn't necessarily anything that we would think about using in the classroom necessarily, unless if we're doing more or less game-based learning activities, which maybe something to think about in the future. But the thing that we're most interested in is the idea that first off, people are already using it. So when I decided to implement something like this in my classes as a way to handle some sorts of discussions, I noticed that almost all of my students are gamers. Therefore, almost all of them actually already had the account before Discord account rather, before I even implemented it in my classes. And something else to note about all this is that the idea that students are already, already have an account means that, I don't have to work with trying to get students to sign up or anything like that if I wanted to implement, again, a chat-based program, into my classes. So some things that Discord can do that we essentially would use in our classes is, as mentioned, you can, people can sign up and then be friends with others. And in that respect, you can, get private message each other. So if a student wanted to talk to me, for example, on Discord, they can just message me. And the messages can be viewed either in a web browser, or they can be viewed on a phone, right? On a phone or any sort of tablet, if you will. An advantage of being on a phone or a tablet, if you're using the app, is that if somebody messages you, those messages come up as pretty much like a text message. You'll end up seeing the message just pop up right up on your screen, even if you don't have Discord actively open. So chances of a student seeing a message that you want to send to them, or vice versa, is very high, as long as they have their phone with them, which in most cases, most of my students have smartphones anyway, because I'm teaching college level in this respect. So much quicker in terms of contact than, say, email or phone call or even face-to-face in those respects. Also, something else I wanted to note is you can also create what's called servers, which servers, for the most part, act like groups would act. Where in a lot of services like Facebook, for example, you can create a group that is private or public, in which case people can either be invited to the group or just asked to join the group. And if it's public, they can just come right in. If it's private, of course, an admin would need to accept them in. So when implementing a lot of this stuff into my classes, first off, one thing I wanted to mention that I did fail to note is when I put when I had Discord in my classes. So I at first offered Discord to be used in my classes during the fall 2018 semester. And then essentially what I did in the fall 2018 semester is probe the students, asking them, how many of them are using Discord currently. And out of 75 unique students, only 4 of them said they were not using Discord. So again, just to kind of give you some rough estimate numbers on how easy this may be for the students to jump into. And then I offered this up as an alternate mode of contacting me, at least at first. So when I did that, one thing to note is that the amount of emails that I got based around class issues or questions or whatnot, that went all the way down to 0. And that entire fall semester, I had no emails from students based around questions or things like that, which I get all the time. But instead, they were using Discord. I just gave them an option. They chose Discord, probably because it was easier for them to communicate through Discord than sending an email, and much quicker as well. And phone calls, I would get no phone calls. Even my face-to-face, if students wanted to meet face-to-face with me during office hours, I would get that every so often. In a regular semester, I actually had no students visit me during office hours, which was pretty amazing. Everything was, again, through Discord. One thing through this Discord that helps even more so than a lot of just face-to-face time is Discord does make it easy to allow students and faculty, or any users for that matter, to post videos or images, even to share their screen as well, just live on Discord. So it ends up being a really good tool, especially in software development courses that I'm teaching, where students will actually be able to get more help there than many other modes of communication. One of the other things I did too is for classes where we did end up doing software development, I did start a Discord server for each class, in which case the students in that class would be allowed in that private server, and they would end up using it for any sort of discussions that they had around the class that they would want to create. I didn't require it. I didn't even require them to join the server, but most students did join the server. And I also told them that if you have questions pertaining to the class, as in non-personal questions, ask them on the server, because if you have a question, chances are other students will have the same question. So ask them on the server, and what would happen 9 times out of 10 is when a student asks something on the server, another student would beat me to the answer to that question. in which case was very helpful for both parties. One person, learned the answer to their question. The other person had the experience of doing research and helping out another student. And then those answers would remain posted on the server for everybody to get help from. For those particular classes, I would actually barely get any private messages, even. So a lot of things were just on the server. So all those experiences were really really great, really beneficial, and I continue to use them in my use Discord rather in my spring 2019 semester, and had the same types of positive results that I had in my fall 2018 semester. So I will likely continue to use Discord this coming fall for my classes as well. Another thing to note is I do have some classes that have group projects, and when they have group projects, I don't enforce that they use any sort of platform for communication. I just let them figure it out. And what I've noticed with groups, any particular teams, is they would, when they join together as a group, they end up on their own accord making their own server just for their team, their own Discord server, and that's been working wonders for student collaboration. And so again, I'm just kind of grateful for this platform because it really has changed the way that I've taught my classes. There are some dangers with using Discord, and the danger that I wanted to mention is more or less something that we deal with on a daily basis with any sort of online platform where communication over the internet is the core usage. And so one term that I'm sure just about everybody here has heard about is cyberbullying. And cyberbullying, of course, is a form of bullying that occurs online. And this is a very common in any social media platform, be it Facebook or Twitter. We see stuff like this every day. This has been a thing before Twitter and Facebook had even existed. So it's just one of those pieces that, just like regular bullying, cyberbullying is probably never going to go away. But we can help or try to help mitigate some of those problems. So one thing about Discord that actually is a major disadvantage to other platforms where, like maybe even a Blackboard forum where you may communicate, is people don't typically have any sort of full moderation status. They can't. In other words, there isn't really necessarily an admin unless if you are the host of a server. So like if I created a server, I can kick people off the server. I can, remove the server completely. So I can do things like that, but nothing much beyond that. And even in terms of Discord as a platform themselves, they try to be like really open and free. So people can pretty much say whatever they want on Discord, and even share any videos and images that they want as well, which could maybe be disturbing or offensive to a number of folks. So that is a major danger that that we would end up dealing with. And to kind of highlight one of the severities of cyberbullying in general, as a very real issue, is that we see year to year numbers increase in terms of suicide rate due to cyberbullying. So it's again one of those things that we need to take very seriously when dealing with these sorts of platforms. So one thing that I did, even starting first day of fall semester last year when I first offered Discord as a platform, is I did see a lot of this stuff coming. I am a user of social media and fairly tech savvy, so I was pretty aware of any sort of risks that could come into play with utilizing Discord in a college setting. So in my syllabus, I made it very clear what usage of Discord in our class would be, and just laid out some ground rules with it. And just to kind of paraphrase sorts of things that I had in my syllabus regarding usage of Discord, is that I would require all students to treat communications between them and other students, as well as them and myself, um, as if they were face-to-face communications within our classroom, and that all communications should end up being very professional and respectful. So those are the sorts of things that I would list there. Even in terms of foul language or bullying, I didn't want that to be there either. It is kind of a touchy area for adults. A lot of adults, feel like, hey, we can use foul language, but I just want to make sure that again, we hold up some sorts of good standards when we're doing online communication. So I wanted people to get into the habit of thinking, okay, when I'm communicating in class utilizing Discord, I am still in class. Therefore, I should again communicate respectfully. That sort of thing. And then I also did point the students to code of conduct, which revolves around respecting others in some places of the code of conduct, at least our college has. So your college may have a code of conduct in the student handbook, which I would recommend people to be linked to if you add something like this to your class. And what I had mentioned as well in class is that if there is any sort of violation of any of the notes that I ended up putting regarding Discord within my syllabus, then such violations could end up getting them kicked from our class server, and that sort of thing. So I was just again hoping that students would take it seriously. And I am happy to say that over the entire time that I've used Discord in my classes so far, I haven't had one person violate any parts of the Discord portion of my syllabus. Everybody again had been treating everybody with respect, which is amazing. So again, I've had a really good track record with it. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the end of my lightning talk. And again, I hope you guys consider taking a look at this product.